All right, so we kind of initiated the idea of doing spring break. So this is over spring break. So a bunch of the trips you're going to hear over summer. So this is for spring break. So we're going to the Peruvian Amazon. So not Machu Picchu in the highlands, but this is all straight on the Amazon River. So the whole rainforest kind of experience. So the class is tied to is zoology lecture and lab. Which can take place. It counts as a gen ed biological science and science lab, so it helps with your gen ed coursework. It could also take the place of 2011 if you're going to be applying for transfer as a major. So I can do for a major course. So it's both for majors and non-majors. It could be used for both, like I said. And the nice thing is it's over spring break, so you could take other courses. So we leave. So that's the section for this actual zoology. There's other things we do. There's trips to the Everglades and some coastal areas we do during the regular time when we're not in the field. We leave Saturday the 28th, which is that first Saturday of spring break. And then we'll return not Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. So it dips a little bit back into the semester. But I'm sure, since it's a college sanctioned trip, we could work things out with your other professors. So we fly into Iquitos, which is close on the east, around up here. So up here. And then as soon as we get there, we kind of go down onto the Amazon, and we're mostly on the Amazon and the Napo rivers. So there's a series of 4 lodges we stay at. And a bunch of reserves and rehabilitation places. So up close and personal. So this is from our last trip. So you see holding baby sloths and lots of monkeys and stuff like that. So you get your wildlife exhibit exposure. You know it's real because there I am in the background as the red howler monkeys on top of one of our old students and holding toucans and such like that. So up close. I'm an entomologist, so you get your insect fix and scary arthropods and spiders and stuff. Dr. Harvey's a herpetologist, so he's frogs, lizards, and snakes and such. So you don't have to worry. We handle all the scary stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. So other interesting things to do, fishing for piranha, which we get to eat. Blowgunning with native tribes. There's a nice canopy walk that's about 150 feet up in the canopy of the rainforest there you get to experience. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can't see unless you're up there. We did actually see the pink dolphins last time, and we saw the gray river dolphins, so we see a lot of stuff. Caimans, that's some rivers there. So a lot of riverboat trips. We go swimming in the Amazon. If you can't make it out, that's an anaconda we're holding. So up and close and personal. All the students came back, so remember that, and this applies to all the trip. There's actually a study abroad scholarship that pays for up to a third of it, and the international ed people can tell you all about that. And if you're interested, you know Dr. Harvey. We're currently taking applications. We already have 2 students that are signed up, and spots fill quickly. We cap it at 10 to 12. And we need deposits soon, as is we have to buy tickets like November, December. So if you're interested and spread the word, email us immediately.
Is that cost also for international students?
Yes, the cost is the same regardless. Your course, what you pay for your 3-credit course that's the differential you're going to pay. But this course this is based on last year. It should be hovered around there, of course, based on plane tickets. But that includes all 3 of your meals, all of your lodging, all of your travel, all of your in-country travel, and your airfare. The only thing you have to bring money for is basically souvenirs. So it's all inclusive, unlike, yeah. So yeah, all you have to bring is stuff for souvenirs to buy grandma a blowgun or something. But you can, yeah, you can bring back blowguns. All right. Any questions?
3-minute video, and then we'll talk to you about the program. Oh, volume? the dorms. The hills we drive through every day. Well, guys, even without the musical background that you would have heard otherwise, I'm going to start off by telling you there is a 12-step program for people who come back from Mutabino because everybody has withdrawal. How many of our people are here today from Mutabino? Okay, we took 18 people last year, and many of them want to go back or have gone back. We have people who've already gone back and stuff. I would like to invite you, and I would like to talk to you about the Italy program with Professor Bartolucci. Together, he and I take students to Italy. This summer it'll be for 3 weeks. The approximate dates are July 2nd to July 24th. And you will come to earn 8 credits with us, 4 in Italian, either Italian 1 or 2, and then 4 in geology. They are courses that begin at the beginning of summer session here on campus, so that once you get to Italy, you already have a firm grasp of the language and you're comfortable and confident. And then we spend our 3 weeks living in Urbino, being part of the town, part of the culture, and visiting all the places that you saw in the video. You know, it's beautiful, it's heartwarming, and it's a very personal cultural experience. When we come back, you have a pretty decent knowledge of the language, but more importantly, you've had this life-changing experience where you've had an opportunity to interact, to negotiate, to travel on your own, and to live like an Italian university student without having to be afraid of, oh my goodness, I'm here alone, because you're with 18 to 20 other people. We live in the dorms. You saw the dorms. The last week we travel for 5 days, and we are in, actually for 6 days, we're in Florence for 2 and in Rome for 4. We help you tailor the trip so that's exactly what you were hoping to experience. Whatever it is that really interests you is what you really get to do. And I'm going to shut up now and let Professor Bertolucci tell you the rest.
What's the best?
What's left to say? Actually, we brought our best advertising. After the other professors have spoken, I hope you'll take an opportunity to speak to somebody who's been on the trip before, because if they're here right now, I'm pretty sure it's because they had a decent time with us there last year. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I really don't have too much to add. Professor Duran explained, and the movie with the pictures showed you basically what the trip is all about. Italy is the most beautiful country in the world. Too bad we have too many Italians. But but still, it's gonna be a great experience if you join us. And possibly, she's gonna kill me. If you really listen to me, are attentive, you don't play with your cell phone, you will never write that Rome was founded by Romulus and Remo. Romulus killed Remo because Remo was trying to stop him from founding Rome. So only Romulus founded Rome. For the rest, we are here to answer your questions, and as she said, our participant to the last trip would be the better, would give you the better advice.
The cost is $3,500. However, there are scholarships to offset that, and the cost includes room and board the whole time we're there, chartered buses, airfare, all of your meals except when we are in the hotels, in which case only breakfast is included. Your hotels are included. Everything except for you're spending money to buy that same gift for your grandmother that you would have bought in Peru. Okay? So that's it. If you have any other questions, we'll entertain them right after the other presentations. Thank you.
Beautiful shirts out, sister to sister. I'm so happy you were all out there. Breast awareness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, every trip is very different, and you're gonna see that your heart is gonna decide to go one place or another. They're all amazing. So I really don't care where you choose to go, just go. That's my advice to you. I really don't care where you go. You have, Asia, you have Europe, you have South America. Today I'm gonna talk about one in South America, but then also one in Central America. So just pay attention and see what speaks to you. This one is a very peculiar trip because this is only, and I think we have another trip like that, that it caters to a certain type of student. In this particular case, you can only go if you are in the RN to BSN program. So that means you are doing your bachelor for nursing. That would be the only time that you can do this trip. But maybe you have a friend that is doing the trip, or maybe you're interested. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about it. And I guess, Tenorio, can you just, gracias. He's my student right now. So anyway, we go to Ecuador, and this is a very, very specific targeted trip for service learning. We go there to service. And originally it was Professor Maria Bernal went, and then we went together, and then it was a trip to Peru, and then we helped at a school, and then this year, I already think of last year. This year we went to Ecuador with the group of Bachelor of Science nursing students. It was a very interesting trip for me. I've been doing study abroad for over, started in 2006. So I'm the oldest one doing study abroad, not oldest at the college. We had a joke among faculty. And by the way, my name is Claudia Según. I teach Spanish here at Central Campus. And so it was a very interesting trip. It was, I did it with Dr. Washington Brown. She's the Associate Dean of the Nursing Program. And it was totally different because when we go to the other trips, we kind of guide the students a little bit. In this one, the students went there to do their job. They knew what to do. All of them are right now working at emergency hospitals, or they have the chief nurses in all the hospitals. So really the last thing they did was for us to tell them what to do. That's one thing that I was very lucky to partner. I'm the coordinator of Ecuador, the affiliation that we have there. So I was able to partner with my pal here, Dr. Jim Whitman, and that for me was a blessing because they get to help us. Whatever happens there, particularly in Latin America, those of you that are from Latin America, you know that sometimes safety is an issue. So they had us always kind of protected or things like that. So it was very good to have a partner. Our schedule was very rigorous. First, the students were taking Spanish with me at the same time that they were doing their nursing class. And then we had to first serve at the Hope Outreach for 8 weeks, where students did health screening to children over there. So after they were with me for about 4 hours, and from there we went to the Hope Outreach, and they had to speak to the students, to the little kids in Spanish and do all the checking. And then after that, we did a service learning in Ecuador for 1 week. But we had classes before we went, and we had classes after as well. Here is when we had the classes here before we went with the nurses, and then when we were in Guayaquil, we also had classes, and then when we came back, and this is all that they did. Besides practicing their Spanish, they did the health screening. We reached about 56 children here in Davie, which for us, when you do a service learning, is you first start at home, then you go abroad. And that's why for us it was mandatory to do service learning here at home, which is, here is the students. They did some fairs, they did a screening, they did referrals. So all of this was here at home. And then we went to another country. And when you go to another country, things are very different. Now you ask me if this nurse student ever saw a machine this old, ever. And he had to use it because this gentleman was in really bad shape. And he was like, Dr. Washington, what do I do with this? And she said, you know what to do, just do it. So it was a very, very interesting, I really enjoyed it. I think we all learned very, very much. We went to 3 places. The amount of children we saw was incredible. We saw the children, that's our, that's our schedule, so it was pretty, you know, boom, 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 boom. We don't play, just so you know, when you do study abroad, you are not there just on a vacation, and you're not there just to play. You have a purpose, you have to take your classes, there are requirements. You can laugh as much as you want, but it's true, you have to do your stuff. You're gonna have to do journals, I'm gonna show you, that's okay. While over there we saw over 340 screenings. They came with relatives and we needed to see everybody. I don't know anything about nursing, so I was the one doing the pre-screening, registering and asking, okay, are you very ill, mildly ill, or you're fine? So depending on, because I would send them to whatever it was. The students set up, you know, whatever we could, we set up stations. It was amazing. It was amazing. Those are all the, and as you can tell, we did exams wherever we could do it, and the things we found there, gracias Tenorio, here you have. So it was not just a fun trip. It was very tiresome, it was heartbreaking, but I mean, we did a job. We had to buy, every night we had to go and buy new boxes for license and check each other, because it was like almost every kid had license while we were over there. And then, you know, the students had to work with whatever they could. And, well, then, you know, the assessments, because like I said, it was just a trip. We had an assessment, pre and post, and then, gracias. They had to do journals for both classes, reflections, essays, windshield, and pre and post, and then observation data. So it's work. So you have to decide what, you know, how much you want. Of course, there were a bunch of cultural lessons learned, particularly the arm guards all over the place. Somebody that had been to Venezuela knows that that's, you know, what it is. That was a windshield. We had to go through a mudslide, and Dr. Washington was like, no, Claudia, we're going back. I was like, no, let's go, we gotta go. And she goes, no. So yes, it was a very interesting experience. And then we did an analysis of the things that we saw there. And then finally, we accomplished what we wanted, which is students were immersed in global healthcare practices. They developed a global cultural competence, and first of all, we provided healthcare. And I think that's amazing. The feeling is amazing. And well, that's what we left behind. So that was our trip this year to Guayaquil. And next year is again going to be to Guayaquil. And like I said, this is just an informative session because certain trips, as you're going to see from other colleagues, are very targeted. But that's okay. I mean, because you might not be you, but maybe you have some friends that can go. Okay? And then, well, thank you. If you have any questions, that's my email, and you can email me. And since I'm already up here, I'm going to talk about the second trip. And that's going to be, here are some handouts. The second one is pending approval, and I like to always do my disclaimers. I like things open and upfront. So this one still needs pending by the Board of Trustees, but we have turned in all the paperwork, and the Associate Vice President says that so far everything looks pretty good. So that's going to be in the summer. This one is to Costa Rica. Ah, there's my partner in crime for the one that I just finished. Okay, anyway, in Costa Rica, whenever you get there, they say pura vida. ¿A dónde vas?
Pues no sé dónde va.
Gracias, ahí. Okay, we say pura vida is like the greeting. And give me just a second, Dr. Washington, I just finished your presentation. So this is Dr. Washington who came with me to Guayaquil, who did all the work over there. So if anybody has a question regarding the nursing program, she's the,
I've been lost.
that's okay. She's the associate dean of the BSN program. If anybody is interested in the BSN program, you can ask her. She has some brochures. I can leave them here if you want to. But right now, I'm gonna go back to here. So that will be summer 2015, and that's gonna be with Professor Richard Lewis. And he's going to be teaching comparative governments, in case most of you already took national government, so maybe you cannot take it again, but he's my student, so we already understand each other. It's like a child. You look at them and they know what to do. So he's going to be teaching Professor Lewis. He can be a lot more serious than that. I just like to find a funny picture of him. And then, yeah, this is me every time they say, who's coming to the trip? Okay. Now we're going to be teaching Spanish for travel, that's mine, 3 credits, and then again, he's gonna do the comparative government, and Costa Rica is the perfect place for both classes. Thank you, I don't know where you are now. Okay, and then, well, Costa Rica I went there once when my father lived there, so I know it's an amazing, amazing country. I have many students that go there. They like to go there surfing, they like to go to do many adventures, and it is an adventurous trip, even though we're going to be taking classes. Again, it's in the summer, and this is the duration of the trip, about 2 weeks. But we're going to have classes before that, during the trip, and after the trip. So remember, this is a class. It's not just that, ooh, it's fun. Okay, that is our itinerary, and I love nature, so that's pretty much what we're going to do. You can tell we're going to be all the time, I don't know, if it's not rainforest, it's going to be cloud forest or volcano, and somewhere in there we will be meeting every morning, and that's when we have some classes. I used to do study abroad with Professor Tromans to Mexico, and he was my mentor, and he's not doing it anymore, so I'm not doing it with him. So I decided to do a different one. Okay, so these are the places, and so far, I know the cost is good because I already have it pretty much estimated. This would be the max. I think I'm looking more, I think it's going to be more like between 23 and 2,400. That includes the airfare, the lodging, and most meals, and transportation and all that. What it does not include, and I believe that none of these trips, that's very important that you understand, they do not include your tuition. You have to pay the tuition separately, and if it's in the summer, you gotta make sure that you have the Pell Grant, because remember nowadays, the Pell Grant sometimes for the summer is not. So make sure that you go to financial aid, that you ask the right questions, and I think that's about it. It's gonna be 2 weeks, and I think they're gonna be outstanding. We're gonna learn a lot, all of us. It's gonna be the first time for me taking students there, but I think think I can handle it. If I can handle my students, I can handle it. So, if anybody has any questions, you can ask me later. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here are some questions.
I am Dr. Monasartio and my cohort in crime, Dr. Christ over here, and we're planning a study abroad trip for 3 weeks in China. What we've done quickly is just gone through 21 days. It's for the summer of 2015. Hopefully, these are the tentative dates, of course, a day before, a day after. Leaving the 13th and returning on June 4th. I already introduced us. That includes 3 weeks, 12 days.
Yeah, 12 days. You'll see the itinerary on the sheet, and I'll talk a little bit about it. But there's 5 days ahead of time that we're going to visit our affiliates over in China, and then 3 days at the end, a stay behind where we'll be visiting another affiliate. We have schools over in China right now in 2 different locations who very much would like us to come see them and visit and stay with them and go through their schools and talk to their students and that kind of thing. So we're going to work that in as well. And when I talk about the design of the trip, you'll see how we're going to do that.
So very quickly, we just kind of put some pictures together. We are going to be visiting 3 cities, Hong Kong, Beijing, I keep saying that wrong, and Shanghai, beginning in Shanghai. No, Beijing.
No, this is right. This is right. We got it right.
Shanghai to Hong Kong, okay? A couple of the things. Did you know in Hong Kong that 7 million people live in 426 square miles? Is that crazy? Yeah, and we'll be right there, just in case you want to know. We're going to watch the Symphony of Lights from the side street. There's the Stanley Market, which is one of the crazy places. If you ever want anything and anything, it's like going to Amazon, but like real life. They talk about the Stanley Market, another one, and the Man Mo, one of the most famous temples there in the city of Hong Kong. Beijing, where we have scheduled on top of the classes the traditional tea ceremony, visiting the capital city, which is Beijing, and the Great Wall. I can't forget that one right there. The Great Wall of China, the Temple of Heaven, the Forbidden City, and the Tiananmen Square. In Shanghai, which is one of the financial districts. It's sort of like the New York City on 15 times speed of sorts. It is the financial district. The Yuying Gardens, which is an old one that they've redone, and I apologize, I should have read up on that one. And then, of course, the Jade Buddha Temple, which is one of the largest pieces of jade in the country.
My turn. How many of you guys have seen the TV show The Apprentice? No one? The Apprentice? Donald Trump, you're fired? No. For those of you who are not familiar with that concept, the way that it works is it's project-based, and that's exactly the way we've structured the class. Dr. Monasartio and I will be covering 2. This is a business class, so as Professor Sagun mentioned to you earlier, ours is structured for business students only. When we originally brought the program to the table, it was going to be only for the bachelor students, and we've opened it up to all students. And you can take one or both of the classes, or you have to take one or both, one or either. Intro to Management or Intro to Business. We have it structured so that we give you the lessons, we do the lectures in the morning, and then you're sent out on a service, and teamwork is critical at this point. You're going to be running into these markets, you're going to be creating the projects and bringing them back and presenting them the next day. So very much you will be working with other students in the program. We are staying in and scheduled to stay in 3- and 4-star hotels. So a little different, except for the stay ahead and behind where we might be staying in dorms. We haven't gotten that approved yet. Actually, the whole trip is still pending approval from the Board of Trustees. But we will be staying in 3- and 4-star hotels. If you want private rooms, we can bump the price up. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And yes, there is definitely schoolwork involved in this, folks, but you're going to actually be applying the concepts more than lecturing in book notes, that kind of stuff we're not going to be doing.
Do you have any business majors here? Anybody in business?
So these are the 2 classes. Your airfare is included, your transportation, which will include sometimes bikes, sometimes rickshaws, sometimes dragon boats, sometimes high-speed trains. We have all different kinds of transportation, and they're all included in the price. The fees also include, I think, breakfast. Many of them include the evening meal. I think most of the time you're on your own for the daytime, but you'll be working with your teams and working and doing whatever. So you'll probably grab lunch on the side. It includes all of the activity fees. So when we're going into these cultural museums, it includes all of those things. Entrance fees to all of the places we go. It doesn't include the cost of the bugs that I'm hoping we're going to talk you into eating. We've been seeing all of the little roasted bugs on the side of, no? Okay.
That was the first one, Dr. Serrano.
Yeah. He didn't eat them. We're going to be eating them. Okay, and I think that I have covered that. I have a list of places we're going to be going and all the events that we're going to be doing. It says that we'll be stopping at schools. One of them says high school. It's actually a college. It says high school over there, but it's not a college. You'll be working with other students over there. Sometimes they will be your lead in these projects. You'll bring them in. They already know we have advanced preparations made up with businesses over there, so that they'll be helping you. Let's see. The cost. Right now, the cost for everything is estimated at $4,100. That does not include tuition for either one of the costs. It does include all the materials you'll need. We'll be providing all the materials. You don't need to buy anything. But $4,100, and as it's been brought up every time, there are scholarships available. I don't know how much that's going to be for you yet. We're going to have to apply for those. There are some scholarships available for the trips. Ours is in the summer, and so there are scholarships available for summer that are different from scholarships if you want to go at spring break for one trip. You can go to another trip in summer, and those things you can apply for scholarships for separate.
Work it. And that says goodbye in Mandarin. I think if you speak Chinese, don't tell me if it's wrong.
Any questions?
I'm going to just, I call this I'm not Henry Mack, I'm Glenn Bear. I'm an adjunct. Henry Mack is the Associate Dean of Humanities on South Campus. I just thought, in case you need to encourage your parents to spring for this, we need a quote from St. Augustine. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. Yes? Do you agree? Hoppa. Very good. Thank you. Okay. We depart. This is a quick itinerary. I figure anybody can have a picture of a plane, but who's going to have goats? Goats are waving at the Swiss Air, right? So anyway, vintage poster. That would be departing Miami at, this is spring break on 27. That would be Friday by Swiss Air, which takes good care of you all here. They don't charge for luggage, I think. And we arrive Athens, nice aerial shot. The next day, finally after we stop in Zurich, I think it is, and then we go to Athens. We'll transfer to our hotel very quickly so you can have most of the rest of the day. Now I'm of the, there's our hotel. It's a 4-star hotel, and your assignment that day will be to recover from jet lag. You can do it in one day if you really, really try, or you drink ouzo. Saturday night will be open in Athens for the Acropolis. It's lighted magnificently, and we will have a view of it at least, very least, from the lounge bar area at the hotel. The next day, there we are again with some wine. Next day we're going to walk to the Acropolis, which is why the hotel is located very close, and we will walk up there, but we'll also have a nice lunch at the Taverna. You're wondering where the schoolwork gets into. You'll see. That's where. This is the Odeon of Herodotus Atticus, and the amphitheater is on the slopes of the Acropolis, which of course is where the Parthenon is located. And so we will use that amphitheater for your finals in either speech, public speaking 1608 or introduction to speech communication 1024. Both of them have public speaking, so we're going to use that as our final place for those speeches. Okay, why not make it interesting? It may turn you into an orator instead of just somebody trying to get free public speaking. Okay? So it should be fun. Sunday evening is free for discovery there in Athens. There's plenty to discover. And, another quote. Journeys at secret destinations which the traveler is unaware. Lawrence Durrell. That's deep, big deep. And Monday you could go to the National Archaeological Museum. It's a fabulous museum. Or you can skip it and enjoy yourself in Athens. Being there is such a learning experience anyway, so I thought I'd give you as much time as possible to do so. Tuesday, we're taking fast ferry. That's about a 4.5 hour as opposed to a 9 hour on the slow boat. But the slow boat stops and you see about 4 islands on the way. But we'll do the fast ferry there and be in magnificent Santorini. This is the caldera, the crater that exploded of the volcano in 1610 BCE, and that immediately filled with water from the Aegean, and those cliffs are about up to almost 1,000 foot above the water level. See up there? That's where we'll be staying. That's called Thera. That's actually the Greek name for Santorini. It got an Italian name. Well, why not? It's more beautiful than Thera. Santorini. So it rolls off the tongue. Anyway, we're going to go a little bit different like students would go. This is a hostel it's called Caveland. It's a form of winery, but it's the rock formations are fairly soft enough to carve rooms and apartments out of, right into there. So they have a constant temperature, they're very comfortable, and it's fascinating to be in there. Your dreams, especially on that island, will just explode. We'll have to talk about them. Anyway, that's Caveland. You'll see it's got that lovely white, that all the Cyclades, the group of islands in the middle part of the Aegean, are generally they have the white buildings and blue doors and shutters. Okay, dinner on the caldera. Plenty of places to eat, overlooking the water and the caldera. So, Wednesday we go to Akrotiri, a Minoan village covered by ash by volcanic eruption. You have Pompeii in Italy. This is Greece's Pompeii. It was just discovered in the 1960s, I believe it was. The French are leading the excavation of it. There were no bodies found, no human remains there, just the village that everybody evacuated. They probably were killed when the gases got them as they're trying to leave the island. But it's a fabulous thing, and it's just being discovered, still being uncovered. So you get and this, by the way, is probably, a lot of people think this is Atlantis. So Plato started the legend of Atlantis from Santorini. It was a round island, 2/3 of it blew up, now it's crescent shaped. And it also just swamped and just destroyed the known civilization. Dinner again, overlooking the caldera, which is just beautiful. These lights don't go down anymore, right? But you can see it's a fabulous view from just about anywhere on Santorini coast. Maybe even some Greek dancing. Learn how to, or just jump in. And on Thursday, the 5th, we go on a boat trip in the caldera. Again, you're learning by being there and being in the middle of it, and we'll have guides and they will tell us all about it. And there's an amphitheater on the Thera, an ancient amphitheater. We may do some work there also. So you go on the boat trip, we stop, you can swim off the boat. The volcano, kindly enough, heats up the water in the area where you can swim, even in March of the year. And also, we will walk on, explore Neothera, which is a new island that the volcano is constantly adding to with lava from underneath the water. So, anyway, then there's the sunset. Again, they're incredible. Last time I was there was a magazine from, I think it was from Australia, one of the 10 places you've got to see before you die, and that is the beautiful island of Santorini. It may be one of the most beautiful in the world. Friday again, you're free to roam, and there's plenty to roam, and we're definitely at an angle walking through Santorini, through Thera, the town itself. And you can take a donkey. Used to, the ferry boats landed right at the foot of the caldera, right below Thera, the town, and you would take a donkey, or then they built a cable car. And now, though, we'll land away from there and take buses on the switchback. It's not nearly as good, but you can take the donkey or the cable car for an excursion. Oh, or maybe a sunset memory. You never know. It's one of the most romantic places you'll ever see. We go back on Saturday, reality sets in, go back to Athens via the fast ferry. Maybe even on Friday leave and stop at an island on the way to Athens, like Mykonos or somewhere. That's the one famous for the windmill on it. maybe we can arrange that, and then you can explore Mykonos, then go back the next morning to Athens to catch the farewell evening in Athens. Fabulous. We have a dinner planned and some plate breaking, probably dancing. And then we depart again on Swiss Air. He's still waving at the plane. And we arrive Miami 4:30 on the 8th. This is obviously spring break. And one more quote. You should see the landscape of Greece. It would break your heart. Thank you. We have not set a price because we are not bot approved either by our Board of Trustees yet, but we will. We're going to be somewhere in the very low 2,000, and that includes airfare, which is half the price. Its airfare has just gone extremely high. So it will be a terrific 8 days, and you get a great intro into how to travel in both 4-star and student hostel. Very nice hostel, very picturesque. You'd love it. You'll see the whole island. So. Anyway, you should see Santorini once before you die. Is there a question?
Sure. But what date do you think you could have a for the trip?
Oh, for the trip, we would leave here on February 27th.
By what date do you think you could have an approval?
Oh my.
It's mid-October.
Yes,
Mid-October, the
very
Board of
soon.
Trustees just needs to sign off.
Yeah, very soon, probably next week, I would think. Yeah, we've got all those things together. The proposal is being helped to be done by SEPA Europe, who's done a lot of proposals for study abroad BC. So they really know what they're doing. They're German, they will get it right. So anyway.
And this is for speech and public speaking.
Yes, yes, we'll do, is it session 2, I think that's the short session. It ends, I believe it's on March, the grades have to be in, I think it's the 4th. And what we'll do is we will study through from January 6th through departure time. And then we'll do our final speeches, maybe even the final itself there in country. But what a fabulous way. And I'll be bringing my video camera along so you get a nice tape of you speaking in Herodotus and the amphitheaters.
Yes. What about if you were to speech class?
You do what?
If you're in certain speech.
Oh, you already took it. Well, we also, if you can make it work for your classes, for your degree, there's a very interesting program that I'm also teaching called Introduction to Speech Communication. It has a couple of speeches at the end of it, but mostly it's a great summary and introduction to all kinds of communication, speech, personal, small group.
20 speech, 24.
Yes, that's 1024.
What if you took that one already?
Introduction, you taking that one? Well, come along for the trip.
You can still come along even if you already took the course?
Yes, I think so.
I think that
Please,
maybe
maybe
we
you
need
can
to
answer.
have, yes, not to interrupt, but there are some things that we do need to do by the book. The drinking is one of them. And I know that it was mentioned several times, but that's something that needs to be decided by the Associate Vice President regarding the drinking, the study abroad. I'm just saying because it has brought problems in the past. And then the students need to register for the classes that they're taking. So you do need to register, and you cannot register twice for the same class. And for example, I think that's what, is that what you have, Italian 1 and 2?
Italian 1, Italian 2, we can do like study.
Okay, exactly. So that's what I wanted to, that you do have to
Right.
take some of the classes, and so it's not that you just.
You can arrange that with someone in communications and humanities and do a paper, whatever.
And the Board of Trustees, they need to take their time because, I mean, there are some rules and regulations, like in every company, and they have to make sure that the professors that are teaching are qualified, they have to make sure that the amount of students, because remember, when we do this, our salary is still paid. So we need to make sure that we have the amount of students that would pay for our salary. So there's many things that need to be taken into consideration. It's not just that, we all say, oh, I want to do a study abroad. No, it doesn't work like that. We have to, all of us, we have to follow some steps. So it takes a little time for the Board of Trustees, but eventually they get it right. Because so far, the experience, Italy has been many years and David before, and so it takes some work, but it's worth it. Like I said, any place you go, it's worth it.
So, thank you. I'll be over there if you want to ask any questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. It was nice. Thank you for
Thank
presenting.
you, Celia. Thank you, everybody, for putting this together. Yay! Merci
Thank you for
beaucoup.